ice cream
We-
stores, but people stayed loyal to
That
one.
wasn't loyalty, though.
No, it was,
No, it was just preference.
yeah.
Yeah,
Until you-
I don't think it was a question. Well, we have to go to Sosin's.
Thanks.
When Passover sodas were first okayed, because there were no such things as anything that you could drink that was made outside of your own home, and our father wouldn't have it in the store. And they had it down the street. I remember that there were places down the street that were selling, I think it was Pepsi, if I'm not mistaken, that Pepsi came out with kosher for Passover Pepsi. And it took him a couple of years until he brought it into the store. But it was a necessity that he bring it into the store, because if he didn't, he lost customers. So there wasn't a loyalty thing. What we did get out of the store was values. We had the values that you treated people as something important. You never tried to downgrade anybody. And you treated people, and one of the major things we were taught was to be honest. That if somebody left the wrong change or got the wrong change, that you ran after them to make sure that they got the proper amount of money in return. That we never cheated anybody. We didn't cheat them by what we gave them. We didn't cheat them by shorting them in what they got back. So that we were always taught values in the store. But that, again, was what the community taught each other. Nobody would think of going across the street and trying to cheat the baker or anybody else. You were always taught that you were part of the community, and what you did to somebody else came back to haunt you, and you didn't do things to other people. You always treated people fairly.
Except for Miles.
Well, there was.
Miles' whole stories are all about what he could get free.
Well, when I talk to a lot of the guys that are extremely successful now, and a lot of them will mention the aspect that when they came in the store, they would sometimes steal a penny candy. Some of them would walk out with a comic book tucked in. But that wasn't stealing for stealing's sake. That was stealing for adventure's sake, I think. That wasn't trying to cheat somebody out of anything. That was trying to see if they could get away with it.
We wouldn't do that.
No, it would never be. It would be foreign to us. I mean, Joyce tells the story of being in a store and either taking something or having something given to them, and her mother making her march all the way back to the store in order to turn it back in because it was not theirs. That was just something that you didn't do. You didn't take it. Retail people, the pennies were important to them, and they knew and respected other people that the pennies were what they made their living with. And that was an important aspect of life. The one thing that I haven't mentioned that I know Steve has mentioned is Central High School. But this was true of all the schools. The aspect of that community developed doctors and lawyers and architects and authors and actors, and it was a community where I always felt that school was competitive because the students were competitive, and I always felt the students were brighter than the teachers, and that the students taught each other. I know the teachers had something to do with that, but the students themselves were taught values by their parents, and one was education, and education was like honesty. It was something that was put on a high plane and desperately important for everybody to be educated and to go on and exceed what your parents were able to do. And that was what your parents always wanted, a better life for their children than they had themselves. But when you consider that Nate came to the United States by running away from the Russian army, by taking a train across Mongolia, by being a teenager and coming across the Pacific Ocean and landing in Canada and then making his way to New York City and being a barber for 2 days before he came to Detroit. And he came to Detroit because Henry Ford was offering $5 a day for working in the factory, and he went to work in the factory, saved enough money in order to be able to open a store, brought over his sister and his mother and his brother, put them to work, put Minnie's brothers and sisters to work, and that they all were able to take care of each other. That's and provide for their children. That was what was exciting about the community at that time.
Roll the
That was
credits.
what we were, hey,
That's
that's a
incredible.
good
You
finish.
You
That's a
just
good
did
finish.
in one breath what
Yeah.
Nathan Sosin's
Damn,
life
that's
was
good.
about.
Very good. Very good.
Okay?